All right, good evening, Omnia. Bishop here. So I'm doing the Maria intersecting wills here. I'm going triple time on this. This is actually my second run at this. The first one I used, obviously, Gladio and Maria because of obviously because it's a ticket run first with Maria. But two, I went with Gladio because the confused debuff is a gigantic pain in the butt. So, like I said, this was my second run. With Vaan, I'm kicking myself. I probably should have used Rinoa. Then it's probably a 1FR fight with that. But so my first run, actually, I used Minwoo, and it took 38 minutes. I said, nobody wants to sit through that. I'm going to do it again. And I ran through it. I was about to, like I said, I was about to use Rinoa. And I said, ooh, wait a minute. Vaan can, his S2 can hit the wind in the holy conditions. And he'll probably brave through the rest of it. And I like using Vaan, so why not? It still took 27 minutes. It took actually 4 turns longer with this. But this one, I played it a little bit better. I didn't go aggressive at the beginning. I went aggressive at the end. I was trying to let these guys actually get turns. And that's part of the reason why I don't think Minwoo is probably the best here. Because if you're really trying to do the counter game with that, the turn deletion really makes it tough to pull that off really as the main guy because, his burst phase just couldn't get enough. And I really, in order to try and help it out, I was going to go with Yang as an extra counter, but that confused. It just made it too difficult. All right. So as we're coming up here on the first force time, let me go ahead and ask you, hey, if this is helpful and you use it, please consider liking and subscribing. I really appreciate it. Going to try to do a little bit more self-promotion just for the idea of, hey, why not? I'm working hard at it. Might as well. Try to get a little bit more of people to watch. So if you saw it right before that, I did use all 3 of Vaan's AAs in order to get the force time active so that I could be able to, even though it's an on-turn only one here, what I was hoping to get is as many turns as possible for Gladio and Maria to do their traps and their counters and all that stuff so that, I could get that extra little damage to try to take these guys down. Just a little bit more here with that. Other than that, it's pretty well simple. Just use, we're bunching up Vaan's FR with those things. A little bit of a side note here, just because I said this in the original video. I read a lot of people on Reddit that say that, Shinryu is not real good because the force times are ridiculous. The force gauge bonuses are huge, and I can agree with that. I do think there's some validity to that argument, but one other thing that I think is difficult, or it makes it kind of monotonous. You got Gladio, you got Galuf. They're really tanking anything the bosses are throwing at us. I got to say, I think the devs overtuned the 2 of them here. Not because, like, for example, you can just sit here with Gladio's debuff, any single target attacks. Nobody's ever going to get hurt with that. So I do think that's part of the reason why Shinryu's probably a bit too easy, because they overtuned Galuf, Gladio as well. Probably Orin too, but I really don't play with Orin very often. So I don't know how much of a difference he's going to be, but like I said, Galuf and Gladio definitely. Now, you may say to yourself, why didn't I use my brother's summon on that last turn? And you ask a very good question, and the simple answer to that is because I was a moron and forgot to hit the button because I was it's like, ooh, good, Gladio's going to have the big hit coming with the EX. I was an idiot. Just kind of like I was an idiot there as well, using Vaan's EX for no apparent reason on that one, because I didn't need to, because his buff is not anything you really need to worry about with that. So right now I'm just kind of holding on here. And so it's like, okay, I don't want to, what I was really looking forward to, now that they got their force time and I got to deal with the HP poison, it wasn't the HP poison wasn't going to be a big deal. What I didn't want to have to deal with is the HP poison during burst, because I had no way to heal that whatsoever. So that was why you're going to see me kind of ride this phase out just a bit. Let these guys get all the turns that they can, get rid of their force time, and then I'm going to follow in behind it and pretty much blow them up from that. So I'm not freaking out here about using my LD. You notice I didn't even touch it with that. It's just kind of a let's just hurry up and go here. So that's kind of where I was at this point. It's like, all right, come on, boys, take all your turns. I was really hoping they would jump and bounce around and do all the different things that they do. And unfortunately, it's just kind of a slow burn here at this point. As you can see, I'm getting ready to go. So I'm kind of counting the turns here so as to when I can get ready. So, but one more cycle through, these guys will get the, these guys will jump here in a minute. Or not jump in a moment, but they'll get done with this in a minute. So I'm going to start setting myself up. It's like, okay, we got A here. So here we go. There's my getting the Brave floor on. And they're setting up Gladio. So we'll get Brave Leak on that guy, or on both of them. For the burst, refresh Crown's Guard Pride. Let him get his burst, or not his burst, his FR out of the way. Bring on Braska. Just to be honest, I just like Braska because you get the Brave damage bonus if that's really a big deal. Sometimes it can be. You get the 20% HP damage up, and you get an extra 20% overflow. So if you're not already capping, that's pretty well going to make sure you get there. That. All right, so here we go. Here's for the fun of it, bringing it down home. So as you can see, we got about 40%. We're getting launches. Maria's going to use her freebie. We're going to get the gauge jacked up here. Since we need to use the freebie there, that's why I went with the three. It was going to be either one. I decided to go with a group attack. They're going to get some Gladio damage in. Getting a Maria thing. Here we go. Now for the fun of it, let's white whirl the heck out of them. I was actually looking here to try to set it up to where B could get broken and A would also get broken and get pushed back. But then I kind of realized, hey, wait a minute. They're going to, as soon as I get out of the burst, they're going to jump turns. So it's really just, let's whittle them down as much as we can. And it's going to turn out all right here. You know, we're hitting Vaan with the big ones here. And so I got my last of my freebies. So this is where I was debating, okay, what do I use here? You know, do I use the LD? Do I use the FR? So let's use the FR because it's going to do more damage. And we're still going to get the same thing. We're going to get free skills. That really didn't matter. So I bumped over here to the white whirl. As you can see, I was kind of hoping that was going to take him down. It was like, nope, it didn't. It was like, all right, so yeah, I was going to hopefully get B, but then I was like, okay, 1%, the BT Finisher will take care of A, and Maria's little trap, or Maria's little trap was going to take care of the first one. So there it is. Hopefully you sat through that one. It's a little bit better than sitting through 25 or 30 minutes of that. So, hey, I appreciate you watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. Take care. We'll see you for the next event. Bye.